Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Venus Day. If you didn't know, Fridays are ruled by Venus, so hence the perfect day for love readings. And we're gonna just clarify. So, for me, my love readings are centered around self. So, it's about you mostly. Not to say like other people won't come up in the readings or, won't speak concerning the other person. However, I am focused on self. I personally, this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't love the energy around love readings. You can see it in my How to Stop Obsessing video, but I feel like they just spur obsession in an unhealthy way sometimes with some videos or certain types of videos, and I don't want to encourage that. I want to focus on self-love and healing yourself and focusing on how to love yourself so that you can love others. Again, not to say that other people won't come up in the readings, but please note that these Venus Day readings are really more meant to be about you, and sometimes it might be harsh truths about maybe some things that you need to deal with, some things that they might need to deal with as well. I will flow according to each day however I need to flow, but I just want to set that premise that it is first and foremost about you and about love, okay? Self-love. Second, because I have a cat, my cat's name is Teddy. If you haven't seen him yet, you will at some point see him in any one of my videos. He pops up. However, I had all my cards pre-pulled and laid out in a particular way, and thank goodness I had the common sense to take a video of the layout before he came and messed it all up. So I did take a video, so I'm going to insert that video here. I don't know if it's going to be on the side or if I'm going to make it its own separate video, but just so you can see the cards all laid out. Are so tricky, so I tend to lay out a lot of different scenarios depending on what the cards could mean for you. So I do try to touch on different perspectives as they come through for me, but if it doesn't resonate with you, you are not entitled to watch the video. If it doesn't resonate, then leave it behind, you know. If it does resonate, definitely leave a comment and let me know how it resonates, and I hope in the end of this reading you can come away feeling refreshed, maybe inspired, or having a new level of knowledge or understanding concerning this relationship or whatever you're dealing with in a better way. So we are going to get straight into it, and thank you for joining me for this reading. So I have a few different decks. Okay, this is ironic because I don't do love readings frequently, but I have a shit ton of decks related to love. It's kind of funny. I used to use them a lot more, and I haven't touched them in a while. So I have a few different decks. Not all of them are love related decks, but I did want to include as many of those decks as I could. So my first deck isn't really a love deck, but I can already feel like all of these are going to be so helpful. So this is from my Spirit Allies deck. Again, all my tarot cards are linked below. They're not affiliated, but if you're interested in getting them, they are linked below. This is my Spirit Allies deck. I have such a love for this deck because it was my first ever deck, and I am in love with it. And just seeing the cards that popped out, I feel like it's gonna bring this reading in just a beautiful direction. So the first card, if you haven't seen other videos where I've used this deck, the Spirit Allies deck basically has 5 different spiritual allies, 5 different categories of spiritual allies: goddesses, plants, animals, crystals, and zodiac signs. So that is the premise of this. I've only pulled 3 cards, and they all happen to be different allies. So we have Eos, which is one of the goddesses. I believe she's a goddess of love. So again, I feel like it's so beautiful. Beautiful alignment. Then we have the white buffalo as the animal ally. I'm trying not to get so much of a glare. You can kind of see it here. And Aquarius. So interestingly enough, because Aquarius came out first, it looked kind of like pouring out love. I know there's the actual sign is Aquarius, but like just the imagery just felt like someone pouring out love. So I just thought that was super cool. And we're gonna start with Aquarius. So number 59. I am unique. So this is the one oracle deck that I read from the book for. So bear with me as I'm reading. It starts with an affirmation, which is the I am unique, and then it has a little blurb about the card, about the energy of this particular ally, and then it has a journal prompt at the end. So since I'm using closed captions, you can just kind of write down really quickly what the journal prompts are. If you'd like me to include them in the comments, I can, but just so you know the format. Okay. Alright, so Aquarius, I am unique. Standing out amongst the crowd, it is hard to miss Aquarius. Their uniqueness speaks for itself, but there is always something interesting to learn from this air sign. The fine balance that they create between air and water is one that leaves them independent of their emotions and the seeker of their authentic path. Your journey in this lifetime is entirely your own, and while you may encounter others who have had similar experiences, no one else is living your life. Aquarius is here to remind you to rejoice in your individuality and the choices that you make. While some decisions may leave others confused, you know what is beneficial to you in your time here. The independent choices that you will make will lead you to a community that supports you wholeheartedly and wants what's best for you. The journal prompt is, what would I like to do in the next 5 years? What is holding me back? So that is the Aquarius energy. Number 47 is the white buffalo for the animal. Okay, I don't know if anyone else who does tarot has this, but I feel like with my creativity and just the way I flow, I feel like every time I shuffle cards, it always unfolds into a story. And having already pulled these cards and having had a long time to look at them because I was waiting for something to upload, each thing that I'm seeing, I'm like, they all tie together, and I love that so much. It's so cool. Okay, you'll know what I mean later on. So the white buffalo, I can manifest anything. Across the plains, white buffalo stands proud against the sweeping winds and wispy grasses. Honored by the Lakota, white buffalo first appeared as the white buffalo calf woman, a prophet and a teacher of the 7 sacred ways to pray. The white buffalo is a teacher of the importance of staying grounded when thinking of what you desire. While manifestation is the power that you hold, remember to focus on what will truly make you happy in this lifetime. White buffalo reminds you of your personal power when you are rooted in your beliefs, and remain humble and appreciative for what has already been presented to you. There is so much available to you, but to remain worthy and aligned to receive these gifts is up to you in your spiritual practice. Journal prompt. In what ways can I stay grounded in my manifestation practice? So be mindful of what it is you're trying to manifest. It can be about love in terms of other people, but also what are you trying to bring into your life? And does it accommodate more of what you want in your life? Would it be a burden to you? Would it be difficult for you to handle? Or would it bring more love and more empathy, positivity, growth into your life? So for some of you, it might be your practice of self-love today or this week might be looking at your goals and your desires through a different lens. And with that first card, we have the journal prompt of the 5 years. What would you want to do in 5 years? So all of this energy of what is it that you truly want, and getting clarity on what it is you desire is so important. And then the next card is the goddess Eos. 05 Eos. So let me turn there. Okay, Eos, I am worthy of my desires. The Greek goddess of the dawn, Eos is a bringer of light and new beginnings. Draped in robes of saffron with wings to carry her through the sky, Eos is said to have been responsible for opening the gates of heaven each morning to let the sun in. So she's not the goddess of love. I think I was thinking of Eros, but she is the bringer of light. She is also the sister of Helios, the sun god, and Selene, the moon goddess. I love that. That's so cute. While Eos is a perfect reminder of starting each day fresh and new, she also has a wild energy about her and an unquenchable desire. Let her inspire you to look at your life with fresh eyes as you explore your own desires. Whether it's romantic or dreamy, reigniting your passion can be rejuvenating and enlightening in an entirely new and unexpected way. Let yourself explore all the possibilities and see where you end up. Journal prompt: what do I deeply desire? This is why I love doing, when I'm asking questions as I'm shuffling, the primary question is, what does the collective need to hear? And I feel like that's why the cards tie in together so well, because they unfold to tell a story. And if, again, you're new to my channel, the way that I do readings, yes, I shuffle cards, but I try to explain what each card means individually, and then I connect them to each other and connect them all together at once. So if you do enjoy that, I mean, I think you'll love my readings a lot more, because that's the way I teach, that's the way I explain things. So I think it kind of helps tie processes together and ideas together. But with this, like, I can't make it up. I love how all of the journal prompts, all of the ideas that were expressed in each one of these all tie together, right? And I was trying to connect these two together, and then this one just came and rounded it all up. So for some of you, that in and of itself might be the only reading you need, and I will not be, upset if you click off after this. But think about all of these, and, you can rewind, or I can write the journal prompts in the description for you guys. But yeah, I love that. Okay, so the next set of cards that we have are some tarot cards, and these specifically tell their own story. So I'm going to show you each one, and then I'm going to connect them how I have seen them, right? So you might have a completely different interpretation, and you're definitely welcome to include that in the description, but I'm reading it from my energy and what is making sense for me. So here we go. The first card is the Ten of Swords in reverse. So the Ten of Swords in reverse tends to lean into betrayal, or it can lean into like survival. It depends on the energy that the entire situation is about. It can mean like surviving. When you look at this card in the reverse, this is how I look at it. I see it as someone being on all those swords, right? So it's like that stabbed in the back imagery. In the upright, it's like kind of like you've already dealt with everything, and you're just kind of laying there in pain. But in the upright, I kind of see it as like you're on that pressure, and it's like, it's still painful, but there's also a level of like, I don't know how to explain it, but that's just the way I see it. But in the reverse, in the upright, in the upright, it's betrayal. In the reverse, it's kind of like healing, surviving. However, I will read what the card says, because this is a learner's deck, so it might be helpful for you guys. It also says surviving disaster, relapse, inevitable end, or fears coming true. That is in the reverse. So that is energy of this card. So it really just carries this energy of having gone through something traumatic or painful, possibly a relationship, or possibly something in your own life that was just heavy to deal with, and now you're kind of in the aftermath. And that line about fears coming true, maybe some of you might have been afraid of something happening, and then it happened, and it's just like, maybe it's affected your self-worth or your sense of trusting yourself, or all these things, trusting the universe. So all that energy is with that card here. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of all about harvest. I see it as a harvest card. It says rewards, patience, perseverance, diligence, progress. It's ruled by Saturn. So in like regular day-to-day, I would interpret this card as like someone sowing a seed, working really hard, and expecting something to come forth. I see this as a past energy, almost like before the betrayal card, before that, like having dealt with that. It feels like you've poured a lot into a specific person or a specific relationship. It could be a friendship. And you sowed seeds. Maybe you gave this person a lot of love, a lot of advice, a lot of money, and in the end, you were still stabbed in the back. That is the energy I see with those two cards alone. Again, you're welcome to interpret it differently. It could also be in a kind of present sense that you're trying to build again, to rebuild, to, sow seeds into your own life, and kind of waiting for things to grow for you. The next thing that we have is the moon, which is illusion, confusion, secrets. For me, again, when I was seeing all the cards laid out specifically, it felt like this was, in terms of the other person, maybe there were a lot of secrets in the relationship or a lot of things being whispered kind of behind your back. And again, all of these cards have an energy of betrayal, so it could be that someone said things or did things behind your back that came back to bite you, that came back to affect and punish you, and it was like you were trying so hard, you were putting so much energy. For some of you, this could be a career as well, a job, maybe going after a promotion and someone said or did something behind your back that sabotaged you. So that's also coming up. Like I said, this is under the guise of a love reading, but it's really about self, so don't be surprised if other topics besides love come up here. So yeah, the moon has an energy of anxiety, kind of like derision. So there could have been a lot of confusion around the situation, a lot of confusion around this person, around this energy, and again, it ended up hurting you, right? Then we have the Death card, which is that transformation card. It's ruled by Pluto and Scorpio, in Capricorn. I did not know that. Transformation, change, letting go, releasing, goodbye. So for some of you, in terms of a relationship, it's the ending of that relationship and starting afresh or going a separate way. In terms of that career aspect, maybe it's seeking another job or going after another promotion or another department, something like that. Or even just letting go of what happened and choosing to move forward in a new energy. All these things are kind of coming up all at once. For some of you, it might be multiple different situations, but this Death card is not only the energy that you might be in, but it's also the energy of, it's literally a reminder, a statement of saying it's time to move on, it's time to continue, it's time to transform. The Death card is like endings and new beginnings, and that is the powerful part of Pluto. It's not just one but two, right? It's not just the ending but also the beginning. So some of you might be really fixated on the ending portion, but in reality, or at this time, it's time to look towards the future and focus on the new beginnings, right? So there's that. And then the last one we have is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords carries an energy of like a younger person, kind of like a refreshed energy, like, okay, I'm ready to try again, I'm ready to go out into the world with new thoughts, a new mind. I'll read what the card says. Delayed news, curious, planning, guarded, quick-witted, chatty. It just has the energy of like that newbie energy of like the new person at work who's like super excited because they haven't gone through everything everyone else has gone through, and they're just super excited, super ready to deal with everything, and go into the world just like energetic. So that is this newness that we're talking about. Yeah, so new energy, renewal. Yeah, I think that's everything that wanted to come out. Alright, so the next set of cards are oracle cards, which again I feel tie into this message so well. So the first card is a fresh start. It says you're being given the opportunity to begin again. Allow yourself to embrace this new life and open up fully to this gift that you've been given. And this was like one of the first cards that popped out too. So after seeing those tarot cards, I was like, this makes so much sense. Fresh start. Then the next card that came out was Bravery. You're being asked to make a tough decision that you've been putting off because of fear, which is understandable. But you do have the strength and bravery to make this decision, and you will feel so much lighter when you do. So for some of you, it might be making the decision to have that fresh start, to start a new path, start a new relationship. And with the cards that are going to be coming up, it could be about a new relationship and committing to a new relationship. But just having the bravery to make that choice, to move on, possibly, or to heal, or to let someone go, or to seek justice. Whatever bravery might mean in your situation. Okay, the next card is Worth. You're being asked to honor your worth. It can be so easy to feel that we aren't good enough or worthy of happiness. This simply isn't the case, however. You are worthy, you have inherent value. It's time to cherish yourself and see your true worth. All of these cards, I love it so much because it really just leans into that energy of like believing in yourself, having the bravery and the courage to kind of stand up and move forward, right? It's not easy, it's not meant to be easy, but making that choice, making that decision is so crucial, especially if you've just gone through a world of hurts. I will always say, feel the feelings, feel the grief, the betrayal, the anger, the frustration for however long you need to, but also allow it to be transmuted, allow it to flow. Don't let it be stagnant, don't let it be, stuck in your heart. Let it flow, feel it through, and then let it go, Let it flow and then let it go. I love that. Alright. So these next few cards are the quote-unquote love reading, the love cards. So they may have a very specific energy. I still pull them in the energy of self-love, but it might shine more light on the reading itself. You may be able to apply it to different circumstances, but again, I interpret each card as I see it. So the first card that had came out was the Axe, which typically represents breakups, separation, stopping the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. So again, this might be something you went through in your previous or current relationship. But it really could just be like you have just ended a particular relationship, friendship, etc., work relationship. So that is the Axe. Then we have the engagement ring. So some of you might have broken an engagement or a marriage. Others of you might be in the midst of a situation where engagement is possible in a new relationship and you are a little bit unsure about it because of what you've gone through in the past. Maybe some of you want this engagement or marriage at some point in your life, but what you've been through is kind of holding you back in terms of just the pain about it and feeling like you can't move forward. So we have the engagement ring as well. Engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, union. Take it as it resonates. And then the last card is Girl with a Snake. Empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable or boundaries. So again, this could be a past relationship, the one that caused all those betrayals. It could be a narcissist that you were dealing with. It could be being used, anything where you were deceived or mistreated or anything like that. That is what that card is tying into. So yeah, I feel like all these cards kind of tell its own story. If there's something specific that you want to share, you don't have to share names or anything, but if you've been in the circumstance and this resonates with you, definitely leave a comment. Alright, so these next cards are a little bit different. It's the love message, like oracle deck. and I personally don't love this deck. Not in terms of the creator or anything, but it's just, it feels like the cards carry very heavy, dark, negative energy. So I don't use them too often. But for this particular pull, I pulled 2 sets of cards. One was from your perspective, or what you may have had to deal with or were dealing with. And then the next are kind of what the other person was dealing with or thinking or feeling. I cannot interpret these to a specific degree. So I can hypothesize. Some of these might not even resonate or matter or be true for your particular circumstance, or for the person's circumstance, but I'm still going to read them. So for you, you might have been dealing with drugs or alcohol for yourself, or have been in a relationship with someone where drugs and alcohol was an issue. It might have been the secrets card with the moon. That might have been some of the secrets. Maybe you didn't know that your partner or someone was dealing with a specific addiction, and maybe it came up throughout the course of the relationship in a way that was harmful to you, or you weren't able to support them, or whatever was happening. But drugs and alcohol did come out. And then this question of, is it over? When this card came out, I just had this distinct sense of maybe, okay, yes, now I'm remembering the question I asked. Maybe it's something that you're not able to admit. So I think the question I had asked was, what are you as the viewer like not accepting or not aware of? So maybe you weren't aware of a drug or alcohol problem, or maybe in terms of not being able to admit something, maybe not being able to accept that the relationship is over, or the other person towards you, or just that, is it over, having the sense of like kind of like being blindsided, like, oh my god, like, did this just happen, like, for real? So yeah, that's that. And then again, this may not apply to your person, but I can't make a decision and I cry at night. So in terms of you or this other person, there might have been a decision that needed to be made. Maybe you're still in that state where you're not fully broken up, or you're not fully separated, and there's still this unsureness. And maybe it's like this person doesn't know how to respond, or if, like, what decision they want to make concerning it, even though maybe you've already made your decision and have moved on. I cry at night. Again, that could be regarding them, regarding you. It's just, there's definitely a lot of pain in the situation, in the circumstance. But take what resonates. If you interpret the cards differently, use that interpretation. But again, I'm just doing it based on what I can see. Alright, and now I have 2 more decks, and then we're done. So these cards kind of came out all together. So the first one I have is a fire sign. So you might be a fire sign, a person might be a fire sign. Here's Teddy. Here's my teddy bear. Okay, so you might be dealing with a fire sign, you might be a fire sign, you may need to integrate more fire energy in your life. Maybe some of you may have an energy of passivity, that you need to have a lot more action, a lot more taking initiative, or energy, just having a lot more energy, being a lot more outspoken. Maybe some of you didn't speak your mind as much as you should have, or you weren't. Maybe it was like you're a little more docile than you probably should have been, or confrontational. And as I was saying, that was coming to mind as the empath narcissist paradigm that was on the snake, girl with a snake card. So for some of you, maybe in this new relationship or whatever, in your path of self-love, you need to be a lot more assertive and learn how to be assertive for yourself and in relationships, and learn how to set boundaries, specifically in a way where in a healthy way, setting healthy boundaries where you won't go through the same level of hurt or the same type of hurt. Not creating walls in terms of your emotions, but having the awareness that you're allowed to say no to certain things or certain people. You're now allowed to have your own choice, have your own autonomy, even in the midst of a relationship. So, yeah, set boundaries. Okay, so I also have confession. Someone has something to tell you. This could have passed or going to happen. It could be in terms of love or in terms of relationship you're already in, where someone has to tell you something. Again, with the moon card, the secrets, things becoming clear, things becoming known that were done in secret. All that energy. We have commitment. Things are getting serious. Again, this could be a new relationship that you're in that things are getting a lot more serious in, or the past relationship was a commitment, was a long-term relationship that is being affected. And then we have the manifest. Tell the universe exactly what you want. This is the card I was referring to when it came to the white buffalo card about manifesting. I can manifest anything. So manifest came out as well. So for some of you, you might need to just get clear, even if you're in a relationship or going into a relationship or have the intention of being in a relationship, being clear about what it is you want to manifest and who it is you want to bring into your life. I don't like to focus on specific people in terms of manifesting people, but I do manifest the type, the archetype. What kind of person do I want in my life? What kind of energy do I want in my life? For me specifically, I don't really care concerning gender, so that's not something I focus on entirely, but again, the energy of what the person is coming in with, right? So for some of you, you just need to get clear about what it is you want. I know I spoke about cycles in one of my readings this week. I think it was Sunday's reading. Sunday or Tuesday, about I'm pretty sure it's Sunday. So talking about cycles. Some of you might be coming out of yet another cycle, or a cycle in your life of going through the same kinds of people, or attracting the same kinds of people in your life, friendships or otherwise, romantic. And now you're out of it, and it's time to be very clear about what it is you want, very intentional. I think sometimes we're not very intentional with relationships that we enter into, because maybe it starts off as not being serious, or it starts off as a friendship and then it becomes something more. But I think that even as things are unfolding in your life, you still need to have a level of intentionality, right? Whether it's checking in with yourself every few weeks, every day really is when you should be checking in with yourself. But checking in with yourself each morning, each week, etc., concerning different aspects of your life, and really understanding, okay, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this person? How do I feel about this job? How do I feel about my life right now? What can I do to change it? What can I do to bring in new energy in my life? What needs to be altered? Where am I stagnant? All these different things where you just sit with yourself and you're just very intentional about being aware of what is going on in your life. A lot of times I think we kind of go through life with blinders on. We either fixate so much on one thing or one person for long periods of time when everything else around us kind of falls away, and it's like, no, you need to be aware of each part of your life, not to be overwhelmed by it, but just to be aware. Like, you can be present in each and every moment with a person or an event, eating, whatever you're doing, but still have a level of awareness of what is happening in your life, and choosing not to be fully blind, or choosing not to be blind to red flags for someone here, but choosing not to be blind to the things that make you uncomfortable in your life, or for example, for me, I have a lot of debt, bills, things that need to be paid that I haven't been able to pay, and I'm still aware of them. I simply don't allow my reaction to them to be one that brings me fear and anxiety. So it's an uncomfortable part of my life. It's something I haven't been able to deal with. I might possibly be getting a job this week, but I also have an arrangement to help someone either way. So I have money that's going to be coming in either way. But not being aware of the problem, but not letting the problem control my life. Not letting the problem rule my emotions. So you can still be aware of uncomfortable or unpleasant things that are happening in your relationship or in your life, in different parts of your life, without letting it get to you, if that makes sense. Okay. I have one more set of cards, from the numerology deck. I'm just going to go through these really quickly. The first set was domestic harmony. So for some of you, it could be this whole thing, if this is a relationship, coming into a place of harmony, forgiving, letting go, going to therapy, whatever needs to happen to bring harmony into your life. For others of you, it could be, moving into a new chapter, maybe going from a relationship into singleness and finding harmony with yourself, having harmony in your home because you're alone again. For others of you, it might be going into a new relationship or a new commitment, partnership, where it just feels different than your last relationship did in a positive way. Then we have synchronicities. Some of you might be seeing synchronicities in your life that are guiding you in making your decisions or guiding you to understand certain things. You might be seeing certain angel numbers, certain animals, and the messages that Spirit is bringing to you through them might be eliciting certain emotions or reactions. It might be that your guides are bringing you messages and maybe you need to tune in a little bit more in order to get them, in order to understand how to proceed. So synchronicities. And then we have perseverance. Continuing, pushing forward, knowing that no matter how hard it may be, especially emotionally, you are brave, you are worth it, and you are allowed to heal, you are allowed to continue, you are allowed to live your life. No matter what's been going on. So move forward, one step at a time. You can do this. And trust yourself. Persevere. For others of you, you might see it as a message to persevere in the relationship you're in. If that is what feels guided, then do so. But perseverance, I really see it in terms of self, in terms of moving forward, pushing forward for you. So those are all my cards. I do hope that this message was helpful, worthwhile, inspiring, healing for you. And again, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and let me know how you feel about this reading. And I will see you in the next one. The next one is going to be Saturday, so it's going to be Shadow Work Saturday. I look forward to it because I get to bring out all my darker cards. It's so fun. So I will see you guys for that video.